seeing me okay? All right. I believe we are live. Okay. So let me also connect our TikTok people to see if I can, get this ready. First time, first time. Yeah. There's always time for each and everything. So I believe people on YouTube, you're seeing me all right. Okay. And people over TikTok, I believe you also hear me all right. So let me know if you if you hear me all right, if the audio is fine, if the you know mic is okay, and you can audibly hear me. Okay, so yeah, TikTok, just let me know in the chat. Do you hear me all right? And over YouTube, do you hear me all right? So let me believe it's all going well. All right, so waiting on the first few people to join in, and then we get started. Okay, waiting on for a few people to join, and then we get started. Okay. Anyways, let's just get started for the sake of our time. All right. So, if you're watching this, it's probably you're intrigued by the question: how do I really get to start over? Or you're intrigued by the question that if at one time, all right, probably if you're here, you're intrigued by the question that if you had to start over with nothing, what would you focus on? Yeah. So that is the question that pulled you onto this live stream, that pulled you onto, coming to watch me over here. So first of all, for those of you who are watching it the first time, I'm Alan. I get help solopreneurs, new entrepreneurs get to start, grow, and scale their businesses from scratch to somewhat a desirable amount of figure or amount of view that they want to have. Right. So why should you listen to me? Well, it's easy because right now I've lost it. Yeah, I'm 32, so I'm making 33. I have some experience, and by age 31, I lost it. I had a business with a business partner, so it all turned out to be okay until when I lost it and had to start over from scratch. And I wished that the things I'm going to share with you are the very things that I was taught, or I wish I knew early on in my 30s, early on in my 20s. And by the end of this stream, or by the end of this, you'll have to have the exact knowledge on what exactly you need to do, on what exactly you need to focus on if you need to grow and scale. Okay? So, whatever it is that you're planning, just get a piece of paper or a notebook or somewhere you get to write and jot down what I'm about to share with you. Okay? So, let's start over. Are you excited? So, I don't know. Do you hear me well also? I believe, yeah. Just let me know. Do you hear me well? Okay, so let's start over. Let's just get into the gritty nitty things. Yeah. So the first thing I wish I knew was creating multiple streams of income. Yeah. So I wish I knew this early on before um, everything that turned out to be. Yeah. So if you're out there and you lost everything, the first thing you need to focus on when you're starting from scratch is to get yourself create multiple streams of income all at once. Yeah. Because you might ask, why multiple streams of income? The easiest thing I could say is having one stream of income is risky. Yeah. For those of you who don't know what streams of income is, basically something that gets to bring in money for you or your business. Okay. So when you rely on one source of income, one source of part that gets to bring you money, that is the most risky thing you ever get to do. Yeah. So no offense for those of you who have only one job. I understand it is well and good, but that's the most riskiest thing you'll ever have. Yeah? So if you have one job, just know it's risky. If you have one client you rely on, or one client that is only supporting your business to, for over quite some time, then that's risky. Yeah. If you only relying on a distant cousin or a family member to give you money, that is risky. Yeah. So my friend, never rely on one thing, never rely on one stream, never rely on one option that gets to bring you money. All right. Now, what is it that you need to do? Yeah. Some of you might ask, what are some of the path, or what is the best path that I need to get on if I want to create multiple streams of income? Yeah. So let me get my board. I think it will be interesting if I get to body it out. Yeah. So I hope you guys see this well. So here's the quickest path you will follow. Yeah. The first one. That's why you all at. Yeah. You have a job. And as we said, that having a job is the most riskiest thing you'll ever have. Yeah. So the next thing you really need to do is you have to oh, pardon the noise. Someone is knocking. Anyways, the next thing you have to do is get to learn something. Get to learn a skill. Yeah. And start up, or get to find something that can bring you money quick chop. Yeah. As you have your job on the side, the next thing you'll have is at least have a side hustle. Yeah. Why am I advocating for a side hustle? Yeah. It is quite easy, because when you have a side hustle, it is easier for you to maintain your job as you run this on the side. Yeah. So side hustles are good because you can get to do these over the weekends, or you can get to do these over the times when you don't have like work. Yeah. Maybe you work a 9 to 5. So having a side hustle will mean that after the 9 to 5 is done, you'll get to work on this. Yeah. So this could be maybe writing, maybe creating content, maybe um, selling people over phone. Yeah. Or building something on the side that will bring you money. Yeah. So this will be a good thing to have, right? Now, you people over there, I hope you see this right. Yeah. Get to have a side hustle. Now, after you get to have a side hustle, the next thing you'll get to do, so this will be 2. So the next thing you'll get to have is start a business. That will be 3. Yeah. So I hope you see that well. Start a business. Okay. So why should you start a side hustle before the business? Yeah. Because when you have a side hustle, it is easier for you to maintain your job and earn some money that you will invest, you will save enough to be able to start your own business. Yeah. So that is why the side hustle comes before the business. Okay. Now I'll be explaining this in detail, like in a few seconds. But after this, then the fourth thing, or the fourth stream you need to have, is do some sort of investment. Yeah. So you get to do some sort of investment. That could be, you could either invest in real estate, invest in stock, like stock markets and all that, invest in people's businesses. Yeah. Businesses that are doing well. That is why you should get to invest all your money. Okay. So if you find me working on some sort of business and you like it, but you have the fear to start up your own, this would be a good way to do it. You invest in my business. Okay. So these are now 4 streams of income you get to have: your job, the side hustle, the business, and the investment. Yeah. So the question now is, where do you get to start? Yeah. So probably most beginners, you get to have this troubling question. Oh, I'm just new to this. Where do I get to start? Yeah. Maybe you don't have a job. Where do I get to start? I would say probably you get to start with a side hustle. But I wouldn't advise you to go for that. In fact, if there's anything you need to do, is go ahead and start up your own business, because the efforts you're going to put in to start your side hustle when you don't have a job are going to be equivalent to the same effort that you're going to put in when you're just, doing your own business or starting up your own business. Yeah. So I would prefer, if it was me, I don't know about you, but if it was me, I would prefer I go direct, heads on, to starting my own business. Okay. So now the question is, I want you to let me know in the chat. Do you even get to know how to start up a business? People over TikTok, do you know how to start a business? Yeah. And the same thing is going to apply to people over here on YouTube. Yeah? Do you really get to know how to start up your own business? Yeah. So Aaron Stacks, man, big ups to you. So I think you can testify. I've been talking to you over some time, and you asked me about starting up a business. Yeah. I think things are going all well for you. But anyways, back to the stream. In the chats, I want you to let me know, do you really know how to start up a business? It's the question I want to know. If you do, just put a yes in the comments, like yeah. If you don't, it is also okay, because I'm going to be breaking down a few steps, like four main steps you really need to undertake if you need to start up your own business. Yeah. So in the chats, let me know. Yeah. Do you do you know how to start up a business? Yeah. So guys on TikTok, I'm waiting for your answers. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know how to start up a business, yeah, there are basically four mini steps or four steps you really need to start up your own business. Yeah. So I hope you have your notebooks ready and ready to note all this down. So the first thing you'll ever need to have is you're going to you're going to uh, do this. You're going to find a niche. Yeah. People over YouTube, write this down. Find a niche. Yeah. So what is a niche in the first place? Most of you are confused about finding a niche. Yeah. You hear most of the influencers say, go out there, find a niche, or if you're in business, try to niche down. But the word niche shouldn't confuse you in the first place, because niche is basically people with a common identity. Yeah. So this identity could be they're poor or they're broke. I don't want to use poor, but they're broke. Maybe they have a problem. Maybe their identity is that they're business people. Yeah. Maybe they're students. Maybe they're women, postpartum women. So that is a niche. Yeah? So get to find what your niche is. Okay, that will be so important. That will be so key. Okay, so in chat here over YouTube, over TikTok, I hope you know what the niche is. Yeah. So the first step you'll ever need to do is write down your niche. Yeah. So the first thing, we're going to be writing so much. So okay. We said the first thing to have is a niche. What is your niche? In the chat, let me know. What is your niche? What kind of people with the same identity do you want to target? Yeah. So for me, if I'm to say, mine are basically business people, basically solopreneurs or new entrepreneurs who want to start up their own businesses. Okay. So that is me. I don't know about you. Let me know in the chat. What is your niche? I'm so interested. I want to know what your niche is over there. Okay. So after you know it, your niche, yeah, let me use my example. Probably you have somewhere to write and you can get to write yours. So my niche is solopreneurs stroke new entrepreneurs. These are the people I'm trying to serve. You can have yours down. Okay. Now after I get to know this, then the second thing I have to do, remember, this is starting a business. Yeah? Before you even think of logos, before you even think of uh, bank accounts and all that, these are the basics that you really need to do. So the second thing you need to have after knowing your niche is find problems for your niche. Yeah? So what are the key problems that your niche gets to have? Yeah? For instance, for my sake, it is solopreneurs. The problems they get to have is how to start a business. Yeah, for them it is how do I get to start a profitable business? How do I get to make money? Make money in my business? How do I get to double my income? How do I get to pay taxes? How do I get, yeah, these are basically the problem. These questions really replicate the kind of problems they get to have. So if they ask how to start a business, it's probably the problem is they don't know what a business is. Yeah. And if it is how to make money, it's basically they are broke. Yeah, they are solopreneurs starting to figure out things and they're not earning anything. I don't know about you, but let me know. Is your niche really having these problems? Yeah. So the kind of niche you noted down, do they have these problems? If you can't find problems, use my strategy. get to find the questions that people get to ask in your niche. Yeah, how do I get to start a business? You just know they don't have a business. Maybe they have the money, but their problem is trying to figure out what business to start. Yeah? How do I get to make money? Maybe they are brokies. Maybe they want to start earning something, but they don't know how to do it. So now the problem becomes not making money. Yeah? How do I get to build a team? Maybe they're tired of running things solo and they want to build up a team. Now that becomes a problem. So over TikTok, I hope that makes more sense. Okay? Now, after you get to know this, the third thing is be an expert. Study the problem. Yeah? I want you to study the problem in and out. In and out. Okay? Just to pause a bit. I want you to study the problem in and out. What do I get to mean? Just give me a few seconds. You know when you have a toddler at home, expect this, but anyways, let's just continue. Just a minute. Anyways, forgive me for the interruption, but yeah, my daughter was up and down. But I'll get to that. So, we said find a niche, find the problem, and then study the problem. So be an expert in the problem. Get to know the ins and outs of those specific problems. If it is making money, how do you get to make money? How do you get people turn from 0 to 100? Yeah. How do you get people to earn their first shilling? How do you get people to earn their first dollar? Yeah. So that is so important. Yeah. Now that means when you understand how to make money, you understand what makes people broke. How do they recover from being broke? Now it means you understand the problem of making money. Yeah. Now that becomes two. And then the fourth one would be get to monetize your knowledge. Yeah. Monetize your knowledge. That means now you know the problem. You studied the problem. You know what causes people to become broke. You know how they can turn over from being broke, and now you know how to get someone quick money, like instantly on a go. Yeah. So now, with all this knowledge you get to have, then monetize it. That would be the easiest way. Yeah. So with this, you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to find a lawyer, I need to register my business, I need to register all that. Yeah, all that is important, more so if you're trying to run a big corporation. But for those of you who are just starting out, more so my sake of or my type of clients or the niche people I'm trying to serve, this will be probably it. Yeah. So with you, I want you to let me know in the chats the kind of niche you're serving. Do you get to know its problems? That is the question at hand. Do you? Yeah. So I hope you have all that sorted. I hope you have all that noted. All right. Now, that is step one. Try to create multiple streams so that you don't get rely on one stream, because we've seen that it is too risky. Once you lose that job, that's the end for you. Once you lose that client that you rely on so much, it's the end for you. Once you lose that one family member that is always supporting you, that's the end. Yeah. So find multiple ways to bring in more money to you. And as an example, I've said you either start a side hustle or start up a business. If you have a full-time job, start up a side hustle. If you're just starting from scratch, no job, then don't waste your time starting up a business, a side hustle. Just go ahead and focus on starting up a business. And I went on and gave you the basics, the four main basics you'll ever need if you ever want to start up a business. Yeah. So for now, am I delivering value to you? Yeah. People over TikTok, am I giving value? Just let me know. Just let me know. Just type a yes if I'm giving you value. And over here, just let me know. Am I giving value to you? People over here. Ellie Songs. Am I giving value? Type a yes here. It will help me know how much value you guys love or how much value you guys hate. Yeah. So am I giving value? Yeah. Anyways, so let's head over to the second second step of what I wish I knew. Yeah. Um, the second thing is, or the second wish for the things I wish I knew I had is, I wish I learned how to curate my social circle. Yeah. And if you ever reached a certain moment where you were starting up from scratch, starting up again, your next focus will be to curate your network or your social network. Yeah. Because trust me, your network is your net worth. Yeah. I'm going to say that one more time so that it clicks. Your network is your net worth. Yeah. And when that clicks, then get to do the following. Yeah. Um, if you ever need to have exponential growth, more so you've chosen that path of running your business or starting up your business, then you'll need to have that social network. You need to have that group of people that you always associate with, because that will be your network.